Now, let's talk about the H-1B workers. You have a job. Your employer wants to keep you. You are not changing companies. You are simply extending your status. You would think same worker, same employer, same job, same cost. But according to the resources, that assumption is being challenged now. According to the reports that we received, DHS measures taking effect September 9, 2026, expanding an additional fee to certain same employer H-1B and L-1 extension. The figures mentioned significant: $4,000 for H-1B, $4,500 for L-1. And this matters a lot to Indian professionals because of green card backlogs. Well, for many Indian workers, an H-1B extension is not a one-time event. It can become a cycle: 3 years, another extension, another 3 years, and another. Why? Because the employment-based green card queue can stretch for years. So the worker is not necessarily changing jobs here. The worker is waiting for the priority date, waiting for the next stage, waiting for the green card process to move further. And the employer has to keep maintaining that legal status, by the way. Now add a new fee here. For a large company, perhaps it is manageable. But what about the smaller employees? What about consulting companies? Repeated cost, it can change the hiring decision for them. A company may start asking, is this position really worth sponsoring? Can we allocate the employee? Can we hire elsewhere? Can we move some of the work to an overseas global capability center? And that is why the story is bigger than $4,000 check. It is about how immigration cost can influence employment decisions further. According to reports, DHS projects tens of millions of dollars in additional fee collection over the relevant period. And for the Indian tech community, well, the timing is particularly sensitive because the green card backlog already makes immigration a long-term calculation. Now, the cost of staying in that calculation, it may rise. But what if you don't have 3 years to worry about? What if you lose your job tomorrow? And that brings us to the next pressure point: the H-1B grace period. Property sale, inheritance, mutual funds, rental income, saving sitting in India. Well, at some point, an Indian in US may want to move that money abroad, and that is when the paperwork begins. According to the reports, the legacy form 15CA and 15CB are being replaced by a new digital form, Form 145 and 146, under the new tax framework described in the report. The basic principle? Similar. Before the bank sends you money abroad, the tax position needs to be cleared, but the paperwork is changing. Form 145 is described as the remitter's declaration. Form 146 is described as Chartered Accounting Certification in case where the additional certification is required. And banks are expected to verify the relevant acknowledgement information before processing the remittance. Now, think about somebody selling an ancestral property in India. Well, the property may have belonged to the family for decades. The sale itself is emotional. The money is substantial. The person may be sitting thousands of kilometers away in New Jersey, London, Toronto, Sydney, and they expect the bank to simply transfer the money. But the banking system asks, where did the money come from? Was tax paid? What was the capital gain? What documents support the transaction? Well, has this required certification been completed? Well, the money may be yours, but the paperwork still has to travel with it. According to reports, changes to PAN application processes for NRIs and OCI holders, replacing the old form, 49AA route, with a separate form. Again, the larger story is not really about one form number. It is about India moving cross-border tax compliance deeper into the digital system. And if you are an Indian living anywhere in the world, you cannot afford to rely on the forms that you used 5 years ago simply because they worked 5 years ago. But here's another financial pressure that is building for Indians in America. And this one starts not with Indian tax forms, but with the price of keeping an American visa alive.